play that. There we are. Folks, Lester and Jamie here. Happy Sunday. Jamie, cheers to you. How's everybody doing? I was just telling Jamie that it's getting harder and harder this is the second week in a row that we really had to push it to make it by 7 o'clock.
This is the time of year we've always moved it to 8, and I don't know
No.
why. Yes, we did.
Hold on. We've done 3 o'clock. We've done 7 o'clock.
No.
We've also done 8 o'clock.
We did 8 o'clock all last summer.
I don't know if people can wait another hour, Jamie. I don't know if people have another hour in them. I know you guys have to be as exhausted as we are, but I will say this is the second week in a row that we really had to hump it to get home in time, get cleaned up enough to present a live. Now, we're excited about going live. Don't get me wrong. We love to go live. I think that a live is our chance to kind of like real time. And there's something special about coming to people, your friends, in real time instead of a pre-recorded message, if you will.
We may need to do a poll tomorrow to see if 8 o'clock is appropriate still, because we genuinely all last summer did 8 o'clock until the time change happened.
What did you make me?
I made you Kool-Aid and Malibu.
Okay.
Why does it taste different?
It does, but I brushed my teeth recently. So I got out of the shower, brushed my teeth, and now the drink tastes different than normal. Yeah, y'all are blessed. I brushed my teeth. That almost never happens. Not in the summer. I'm kidding, obviously. Everyone over here is saying 8 o'clock is even better, Jamie. 8 o'clock is wonderful. So 8 o'clock on the East Coast would be 10.
9.
Okay, 9, and then we're at 8, and then Mountain would be 7, and
California,
then 6. So 6, 7, 8, and 9. I don't guess that's too late. Now, our friends over in the UK are going to really struggle.
They can watch it in the morning when they wake up.
They can watch in the morning. But you know, the whole thing about watching a live is there's a lot of folks who will wake up or stay awake to watch a live because they want to see it in real time. There's just something about watching something for the first time. I'll tell you what, though, I hate to get started on a rant, but here comes the but part. You know how we always say that you don't want to give away too much in a live, because then if you do make a video, people won't watch it.
Yeah.
If that wasn't more true this week. Last Sunday, I believe it was last Sunday or one day last week, Jamie and I spent some time, mostly Lester spent some time building a beautiful little doghouse for Sadie, cleaning all kinds of stuff out of the room, reorganizing things, having to fight past the rats and mice and snake skins and all the things that scare me, cleaning everything out, installing her an air conditioner, making her a nice little food and water place. Had the air angled down where it was going to blow right on her. And I took so much time in creating a beautiful video moment to capture all of that stuff, watching Sadie walk in for the first time, seeing her look around, watching her lay in front of the fan or the AC at 78 degrees. It was beautiful. But you know what my problem was? I was doing a live video before I played my actual video, the one that I edited.
You gave your own spoiler alert.
I gave it away, but here's the thing. I told people, I says, listen, guys, I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek of Sadie's room, but you still better watch my video. That's how I make a living off of my videos. I can't make a living off of a live. That's like, you don't make a living off going live. But I make a living off of my videos. Y'all better watch my videos. Oh, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. Don't worry. I'll still watch. I watch everything. Would you believe that of the entire week, I'm not going to give all the numbers will sometimes average around the same every single day, right? Mm-hmm. Not the day that I played my Sadie Doghouse video. It was less than half, a third of the people actually watched the video. And I was like, okay.
But here's my thing.
Is this just the way I look when I get mad?
You move your mouth more. You do this weird like chewing on your lip thing.
Show me.
Like you're like I don't know I don't even know what you're really doing. Yeah.
I don't know. Chewing my cud.
Sister Kim does it perfectly when
chewing my cud. Maybe I'm chewing my cud.
When
You know what chewing
Sister
your
Kim,
cud? Cows chew cuds. Anyway, needless to say, I will no longer give away things in a live video because y'all will end up not watching my video. So I'm going to go broke here. Y'all want me to go broke here? Fine, I'll go broke here.
tomorrow.
Cheers, everybody. It's nice to see you all. Jamie, how are you doing, sweetie?
I'm good. I'm not showered yet. This is the non-showered hurry up and take a sink bath version because it is 7 o'clock is pushing it in the summertime. Like we really do try to squeeze everything in. So Well,
so here's the bad thing is we have a routine, and our routine normally goes that by 5 o'clock after your last call from work, we will head over to the JL together, and you will do your horses. I'll do the cows. We kind of meet in the middle and help each other on little jobs here and there. Sometimes I'll mow grass or weed eat, weed spray, whatever I have to get done.
I clean the RV. We feed Sadie. It's
worked on the fence. There's always things that we do, and then come around 7 o'clock or so, then we drive back over here and do our chores here. And the animals are very familiar with that routine. That's the routine that they're used to. So knowing that we have to be live at 7 and that it's going to be dark when we finally get off of here, we had to really rush it and then try to get the feed up going out there. These animals are all screaming and hollering, running around crazy, like, hey, And so, boy, it was tough. So this is the second week in a row we've really had to push it. It may have been ever since we've got the horses moved over that we're having a hard time.
If the horses were here, it would be so much different, but we're spending a lot more time over at JL right now. People are noticing that you shaved.
Oh, yeah, I did.
This is my favorite face look for Lester.
Guys, I'm tired. If you're going to sit here and say, Lester, you look tired. You shaved, but you look tired. You look beat. Well, guess what? I'm beat. I am beat. It's Sunday night and I am beat. So, but I did shave. The beat man did shave. Thank you.
It's the first time that I think that you've shaved in a while that I've seen. Like you shaved your neck.
You want to tell them why?
Trim.
You want to talk about you want to tell them why I haven't shaved in a while, Jamie? You want me to tell them my version of the story?
You're going to tell them anyway.
This is always fun. This is always fun to talk about. So I'm just going to tell you. So there are certain things that I find to be romantic. And now maybe my idea of romance isn't your idea of romance. And I think that's the way every couple is. Y'all, there's things that you and your partner do for romance might make other people kind of like, what? But hey, it's your thing. That's what you and your partner do. That's your thing. So one thing that I do for romance is I like to start the coffee in the morning. I like to find us some matching coffee cups. I like to meet Jamie whenever she's ready for our cup of coffee, sit somewhere together, have that cup of coffee, just talk about the day. That's just one small thing that I do for romance. I'm sure I do a ton of other stuff. I just can't remember anything, but that is one thing that I do for romance. Okay. May not be much for you. You might could say, good riddance. I'd be bored to death with you, Lester. Fine. Something that Jamie likes to do for romance is whenever we sit down somewhere, she likes to touch knee to knee, and she'll also reach over with her foot, and she likes to touch foot to foot. She does it all the time when we're eating, when we're here, right now. She's doing it right now. She likes to touch my foot with her foot, rub her leg on my leg. Once again, many of y'all are saying, hey, you're hot. You get off, man. You're hot and sticky. Ooh. To each his own. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there is one thing that Jamie likes to do. I'm thinking for romance, and I just don't. Can I finish my story?
You finish, and then I get the rebuttal.
She's going to do the rebuttal. I will finish my story, and then she's going to do her rebuttal. Okay. There's one other thing that Jamie does for romance that I don't get for the life of me. I don't get this for the life of me. She likes to use my razor. I don't know why she likes to use my razor. And she also will take my razor away from my special spot where I keep my razor, and I have to look for it all over the darn place. I may find it in the tub. I may find it, who knows where I find it. But I'm like, Jamie, why are you using my razor? Like, the blade is dull. And so I ultimately just kind of feel like things like a toothbrush, things like a razor. There are some things, no matter how long you've been together, no matter how much you love each other, no matter what, I think that there's some things should be mine and some things should be yours. She hasn't grabbed me and squeezed me yet.
Oh no, I'm patiently waiting for you to let me insert.
She's
here.
about to insert. Boy, here it goes.
Are you done now?
I don't know. Should I just keep going to the hours up? And so
Jamie does all of the shopping outside of Tractor Supply, and I even do most of that now too. And when Jamie realized that Lester's razor at one point in time was 10 times more sharp than the one that I currently had, I bought myself one.
You like
the exact same
She likes
razor.
a man's razor. Okay, fine. Many women do men products because, hey, they're stronger. It's like us men. Don't think I won't go in there and put on her deodorant.
My time.
Secret.
It's my time.
Hold on.
This is my turn.
One thing. It's made for a woman. Hold on. Secret. It's made for a woman, but it can be used on a man. How does it
strong enough for a man?
Strong enough for a man.
For a woman.
And I will use her secret, y'all. I don't mind putting my deodorant where her deodorant has gone.
So I buy a razor that's exactly the same. I keep it in the bathtub because that's where I use it. And if I'm going to take a shower, I take my razor. Well, Lester Morrow takes a bath and his razor is still on the sink or in his bag. And then he uses mine. Then he replaces the blade because it's dull on my razor. And then he will take it back to his bag because he still didn't look in his bag to see his razor. So then I go buy another one because my razor's missing. And lo and behold, if I'm not 7 razors in, right, like blade replaceable permanent razors, not the throwaway kind, 7 razors in, I guarantee you if I go pull out his little bag, his little man bag, his little merce, it will have at least 6 razors in it. So Jamie Walker does not steal or find romance in sharing razors. Jamie Walker buys a new one and Lester Morrow sees it and uses it because Lester Morrow can only use things that he can see, he can't look for at all. I don't find romance in sharing razors, but you do definitely use my deodorant.
So you're telling me that when you go find and use my razor, it's not because it makes you feel connected to me, like special, like.
No, if I have to go find it from your bag, I'm changing the blade on it. I'm not sharing razors.
Anywho, I can never find a razor. And so I think Jamie takes them all the time.
He also can't find glasses or ketchup.
Well, Jamie, you should stop using my ketchup and stop using my glasses.
I do not eat ketchup. That is the number one thing that you can never blame me for is ketchup.
So before everyone goes off and attacks Lester, let's find out what kind of things, ladies, do you find romance in that your husband finds to be kind of annoying? Or
there are a lot of women that wear their men's hats.
What kind of things do you men do that your women find to be annoying? I want to find out if belts. I'm alone in this, huh?
Belts. You also can't find any belts.
I can't find my belts. I have to end up using string, which is ridiculous.
You really did. The other day, I washed a pair of shorts with hay string on it, and you know what I did? I left the hay string on it.
They're still on there, and I can't untie because of when you wash them, the knot got so tight. Now I can't even untie them to put them on. So I have a wasted pair of shorts in there. I got multiple shorts, camouflage shorts. But some I need a belt with. Some fit different and I need a belt. Why is everyone making comments about?
They want to see me in your hat.
Oh, well, by all means. Can I have it back, please?
You told me not to laugh, and you can't even contain yourself.
Gosh darn it. I was trying so hard. How long has this live been going? 15 minutes? For 15 minutes, I held it together, y'all. For 15 minutes, I held it together. Man, I was holding it together. I was just focusing on anything else, trying to find anything else to talk about. Yeah, Lester got banged, y'all. Lester got banged, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's hear it
Bangs.
Now. Hashtag Lester got banged.
Bangs.
No, I got banged. This is banged. I got banged. Lester got banged. Everyone hashtag that. Lester got banged. Oh boy, we're going to set the internet on fire now. Lester got banged. I hope y'all like it. No, these are not hair plugs. I have not taken up the offer that I was proposed, even though now that I've gotten a lot of positive results from the way I look in this wig, you know what? I'm a little bit more thinking that, hey, you know what? I might can go that route. Believe it or not, I look a whole lot like Jason at Cog Hill. That's what everyone tells me. You look a lot like Jason over at Cog Hill. Now, if I weren't so tired and sleepy, it wouldn't be quite so bad. Jason's always vibrant and fresh and young looking. And I just look like I'm just a beat up old man with hair, a lot of hair and bangs. Yeah, I got banged. Lester got banged. They're doing it.
I wonder if we cut it.
No.
No.
So if it was going to be, so if I had it my way, I would go back to the way I did it back in the 90s. So hold up, y'all. If I had it my way, this is kind of how I did it back in the 90s. Sort of. Okay. Except I would poof this over here up like that. That could hang where it goes behind the ear over there. And that goes behind the ear over there. It'd be longer in the back. You wouldn't talk to me if you met me like this. You would not talk to me if this is the way you met me. Are you saying you would be done with me? We would never have gone past tacos, burritos, fajitas. Lester got banged. No, not Lester got bangs. Lester got banged.
The thing is I think it's a woman's wig.
I'm sure it's a woman's wig. I'm sure it is. It was in a woman's wig collection. But when I saw it, there's something drew me to it, Jamie. And listen,
The most weird thing is that it matches your hair. Like, it is so bizarre that it matches. It legit matches.
Listen, if you don't know yet, yesterday afternoon, after the chores were done, Jamie and I decided to drive out and go find something to eat. And she says, hey, do you think that resale shop might be open? We looked it up. They don't close till 6. So we went ahead and drove on over towards Lufkin, which we've been there, I think, 3 times now that Atwood has opened, the new store Atwood's. We've always stopped at Golden Corral. And so we went ahead and stopped at the resale shop she's been wanting to go to.
I love me a good resale junkin trip to explore. And that's just like, that's an event to me. That's an adventure.
So I don't think her camera was charged. So I said, you know what? Don't worry. I'll make all the videos. I'll give you one of my videos. If you don't mind me narrating it. I'm not going to follow her around narrating for her. But I'm like, I'll just video. I'll do one up and down for Facebook. I'll do one side by side for my YouTube. And then I'll give you the third video. And you can do what you want to with it. It's still the resale shop and stuff like that. So I end up on one of the versions. I think it was a side-by-side version on YouTube. I ended up finding a collection of wigs. I don't know. Resale shops have all kinds of stuff in them.
This particular resale shop really had, it was really neat because
it was the best shop I've ever been to. And I'm not a resale shop kind of a guy.
They really had everything. And it wasn't like booth style where it belonged to different people and like everything was set up. It was all sorted by theme. It was, said if it was working or not working, if parts were missing. Like, it was really, really neat. And the variety of things that they had were just, it was a full-on adventure. And I can't wait to go back and look deeper and longer.
I'll go back too, because I believe it or not, I actually found some neat stuff there.
True.
Oh, I want to show them the neatest thing.
Go get it.
I can't because that's part of your video that I'm going to give you. That's the one that I recorded for you.
No, go get it.
No,
okay.
I'm not. I just want it to be a secret. So Jamie, when are you going to make the video? You're the one I'm going to give to you on it.
Do you really want me to? I thought you were going to do it.
No, I mean, whatever. It needs to be, it's good video. It's 10 minutes of great video of some really awesome finds. But what I was saying was you and I traveled far and wide to go do some resale / antique shopping. And we were so let down of the traffic of all the commercialized, what was that place called?
We went to Round Top for their antique weekend. And in reality, yes, it was antiques, but there was so much commercialization to it and so much like where somebody took something antique and then had a company replicate it and make 50 new versions of it.
Or when you go antique shopping, you don't want to have to pass mattress store after mattress store after mattress store after mattress store, or furniture store after furniture store, unless it's rustic antique furniture, and it wasn't. So they have taken an annual event that used to be antiques, and they've turned it into, let's just sell everything we can find.
And I'm totally fine with
Not me.
like a flea market style, but not like a store, a boutique decided to just put it in a tent along the road for everyone else, because like that was the difference. And I realized that there are all spectrums of prices and things you're looking for, but nonetheless, this little place, it was called His and Hers
Mercantile
was really awesome.
I really did. So, sometimes I'll give Jamie a hard time about stuff she wants to do, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it because I love you. But no, I really had a good time there. We were probably at least 30 minutes there.
I bet you we were there an hour.
So here's the thing. When we walked in, the lady says, sorry, we're not able to take card. It's either cash or check. And we don't carry checkbooks anymore. Who carries a checkbook? And we didn't have much cash. So we pulled our cash together. I think we had almost $100. Mm-hmm. Almost $100
which is plenty
between the two of us
to go junking.
Well, not really, because some of the neatest things in there
true. Some of the things
were still, they're antiques, and antiques are not cheap, y'all. Antiques are not cheap. If you think that antiques are just junk for 25 cents, no, that's not how this place was. There was some nice stuff in here. So I don't want to give away too much of what you bought, but she found her a quilt that she really loved, a beautiful quilt that someone took a lot of time on. And then one of the neatest finds that we already recorded and talked about in a video was this old book. Now, this, to me, it almost made me tear up, to be honest, because my nanny, this is my dad's mom, she had a book, a Bible in her home, and it always sat there in the living room on my grandpa's podium where he would preach from. So my grandpa was not a pastor, but they did let my pops sometimes do Bible school or Sunday school for the older people, a class. So my dad built him his very own podium, very lightweight, made of pine, painted real pretty, and he had the word pops across the front of it. So once my grandpa got too old to actually, use the pulpit, my nanny put it in her home, in her living room, and they kept the family Bible there. Now, that family Bible had been around for years. I don't know the date on it, but what I do know is that there was all kinds of notes written in that Bible, especially in those front pages of who was born when, who died when, who got married to who, what kids were born to who. It was like a family history all in those front pages of that Bible. Not to mention, she would tab pages in the Bible of different scriptures that she would talk about when she felt sick, when she felt lonely, when she felt depressed, when someone needed prayer, when someone needed healing. And she could go to her Bible, the family Bible, and talk to you about anything you wanted to talk about whenever you needed to talk. That Bible got passed down to somebody after she passed, and I'm so sorry to say that I have no idea where it's at now. No idea. And I hate that. I have no idea.
You should ask your dad.
I will ask, but I don't think if dad had it, he would display it.
Unless it got ruined in Harvey.
It could have gone through Hurricane Harvey flooding. It could have gone through fire. We've had a fire since then, a home fire, or maybe one of the other family members have it.
Maybe.
But bottom line is that's not the point of the story. Jamie ran across a book that was not a Bible. It was just a book written about, what was it about? Agriculture?
It's farming? An agriculture yearbook, it says. And the craziest part was it wasn't near any other books. It was just sitting out, and it just looked like an old book. And I was like, boy, it's a really thick one. And this is really weird. I love the smell of old books, and I love the feel of the paper and how thin it can be. The older it is, it's very different than what we know today. And I just love to touch those. And I opened it, and it had all of this amazing history written on the insides of it. And it was just like somewhat heartbreaking because at some point in time, either that family didn't have someone to pass things down to, and someone's going through it was part of this was an estate sale.
No, to somebody it was junk. And
Yeah.
that's sad to me. To someone's treasure was somebody in that same family said, I don't want that. We don't need that. And the dates in that thing went back to the 1800s, y'all. The births and
pencil.
the marriages went back to the 1800s. And so somebody a long time ago began to write some stuff down, family names, and then the names in that book were really neat. Names you don't read anymore. Yeah. Ebenezer. Did I say that right? Ebenezer.
Yeah.
There were some names that you never hear anymore that may have been names of the days, of the times, but
it was a lot of history, and I'm excited to read it. I want to do it justice, and I hope that I can look up some of those family names and see what,
Well, some people on here found names of those guys buried in that Confederate cemetery, and even found some pictures and some information. So I bet you if we get that book out one day and you ask, just say, hey, here's a name, Johnny Ebenezer, whatever, and just see if people can find anything about the person, where they were from, where they born, where they died, where they're buried. But no, but here's what's so sad about it, though, is that through all of the work that the author took in writing all this stuff down, because to her or to him, they had a dream to continue their family legacy, to pass the information along to future generations, knowing that they wouldn't be here forever. And at some point, somebody along that line didn't have the same kind of values.
Yeah.
And so it makes you think to ourselves that, darn, like, where will we end up? You don't know who will continue on and who will not continue on. But that's not just that book. If you think about it, we found military uniforms. We found wedding dresses. We found medals and badges that were, at some point, someone had earned medals of valor and medals of bravery and medals of this and medals of that were pinned onto a military uniform that someone at some point earned and passed probably on down to their children. And now, it's not really our thing. We don't need all this junk in our house. We'll just give the uniform to the resale shop, to the Goodwill. We'll just give the medals to whoever wants them.
I can't imagine the people at Goodwill, the things that they see, because a lot of times I imagine that there's like disconnected families or people that were left an estate and they just don't have the mental space or time or care to go through it. So they just drop it off at Goodwill, and the Goodwill people are going through it. And I imagine that they see all kinds of heirloom items that are just tossed, donated, that don't have necessarily a significant resale value on them, but obviously were someone's hard-earned work and time and effort and money that went into those things. And like, I don't know, it was just a really, really fun day. And it was so spontaneous, and it was surprising to me how much he loved it. And because
I surprised myself.
Normally does not get into things like that, but we spent a great deal of time, and then we were almost done and we walked up to the front, and I was like, there were steps that went upstairs, and I asked the guy, I was like, is there more upstairs? And the lady pipes up and goes, oh honey, there's upstairs and there's 3 buildings and a house out back, and you can go in any of the places outside. She goes, everything's for sale. And I was like, oh boy. So our time there doubled. And it was really fun.
And then, of course, I had fun talking to people there. So as a matter of fact, I said at some point I got tired of walking. Y'all know how I do. I get tired of walking. So I'll find me a place to sit. So I went up and I sat down with the manager or the owner and his wife. And I'm like, so you guys do this for a living, huh? I'm just trying to start small talk so I don't have to walk around so much. And we ended up having the most wonderful conversation. And they talked about how a lot of times people will be in a desperate situation, and like a pawn shop, they'll come in and say, hey, I got this china. I got these records, like vinyl records. I got this old Atari 60, whatever. And they just need a few dollars. And so they say if they think they can find a market to resell it, then they'll try to find a few dollars to give to the person. And that's how they acquire most of their stuff. They're not the kind of people that go through storage wars and storage rooms and all that. They let people bring them stuff. And
which is why I think that they have some of the neatest collection. Like it really
it's
was
not junk, y'all.
It
Now,
was
it can be junk to
versatile.
some people, but
it was very versatile, and it was really neat it was like a whole flea market in one place, and
Yeah.
it just kept going, but it was so organized. It wasn't like sorting through piles of junk. It was like, here's the tool section, here's the cast iron section. Gosh, they had a lot of cast iron. It was really cool.
I don't know if you know this. Now, I said this before, but my dad has a 300-piece collection of cast iron, a huge cast iron that he's gotten a lot from his parents when they passed.
Yeah.
Whenever Uncle Raleigh passed, Uncle Raleigh sent him all of his cast iron. My dad has a huge collection of cast iron. I mean, it has cast iron everything. That for the longest time, he had convinced my mom to allow him a place in the house where he had everything on display. At some point, Mom got tired of everything being so dusty. So she says, I'm tired of all the cast iron, get it out. So my dad has moved all of his cast iron out of his house into one of his many, 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 many shops and buildings and lean-tos and sheds. Okay. I feel awkward about saying this. I don't want to go there and say, Dad, when you die, please, I want the cast iron. But I would love to have a set. I don't need the whole 300 piece, but I would love to have like some of the basics, just maybe a set of 5 or 10 things.
Well, he already gave us the stove.
The cast iron stove.
Yeah, we do have that.
We do have the cast iron stove that sits right over here. No, we don't have it set up with the chimney and all that working, but we do have the cast iron stove. And if you guys don't know this, these cast iron pots were all made to sit down in the stove.
Yeah.
So the stove has things you lift up off the top and you sit your cast iron down into it. So it gathers all the heat. They're all made in a universal size, probably 9 inches, I'm guessing, because I know 9 inches. It sits right down to the 9 inches and you plug it right in. It could be a deep pot for making beans. It could be a very shallow something for frying an egg.
Somebody says you're gonna have to arm wrestle Uncle Dan.
Well, I'm not. I don't feel like it's a child's place to do that. I don't think it's a child's place. My dad knows what kind of things he has that I'm interested in. But ultimately, I think that every parent, it's their place to pick and choose and decide where certain things belong. But I don't know I honestly don't think that Lou would ever let Dan put cast iron in her home. Lou is.
Oh, they cook with cast iron all the time.
I know, but.
You don't mean like to that caliber, because your dad has a lot.
Dad has a whole lot. For this is sweet. Put the camera here. Everyone has been wondering how this girl's doing. For some reason, Stella has walked up on her own to show me that she loves me. She's like, Dad, in case people are curious, I'm feeling much better. I'm going to stand right here and love on you and show everybody that I feel great. Okay, sweetie. Thank you for showing us how you feel. In case you're wondering, Stella feels wonderful. Mabel, leave Stella alone. Mabel, no one. Oh, Lord, Mabel. Stella is feeling wonderful, y'all. In case you're wondering, Stella's doing great. She does have a follow-up appointment where they will repack her ear again on Tuesday or Wednesday.
We think it's Wednesday.
And then we're also going to try to get Finn, I know, Mr. Finn, dropped off so he can go ahead and get neutered. And then I will band Starbuck myself whenever he's old enough. So that's kind of what's going on with the animals, the babies here at Longhorn Lester's. I didn't mean to cut you off from talking about heirlooms and hand-me-downs and stuff like that. No, I would love some cast iron. But no, there was a collection of everything, y'all. Now, I mean, you name it. From clothes, you already know what kind of things you find at antique shops and resale shops. But I will say this, there wasn't just a whole bunch of junk. If you go to the flea market, and this is what I think the big difference is, at a flea market, you truly will find lots and lots and lots of junk, stuff that's no good, broken pieces of this and that. But everything there was interesting to look at. It was like a walk down memory lane. Some things you could recall and you had a connection to. Some things you've never seen before. There were things that we had no idea what they were. But I'm going to refill our drinks.
I'm good right now.
Well, you're in
Maybe
charge.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm ready for half. I'm only half empty. Yeah. The other vet thing that's probably going to happen this week, I have to make a phone call to Dr. Cochran. Millie's having really horrible allergies. She keeps nibbling and biting like she has some sort of like all over itchiness. She always has been an itchy dog, but now I'm noticing that like it's keeping her up at night. It's keeping me up at night. So it's time to make some changes for her, and hopefully I can get her in to see Dr. Cochran this week as well. But Stella is getting a repack of her ears this week. She has 3 more days of meds that she's on as well. And I feel like that has been a good, like, quick recovery compared to what I expected it could have potentially been. I'm going to read a few comments here. Can Millie take Benadryl? Millie takes 2 Benadryl a night, and that is how I'm able to sleep and how she's able to sleep, sadly. But I think that I need to know what she's allergic to, because it could be something as simple as like grass or something, but I want to make sure it's not the food she's eating. We haven't changed any food. It's just gotten significantly worse right now. Sorry.
And Sadie seems to be fine. I know there was some concern earlier in the week about Sadie. We had recorded a video where Sadie was kind of scratching at her ears, but she stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on that particular day, but a lot of folks were saying something about yeast and all kinds of stuff. But as of right now, Sadie seems to be fine. And so all the dogs are doing wonderful. All the animals are doing wonderful. I can't really think of any particular animal of any concern. I know, knock on wood, absolutely. We do have a lot of people have been asking about little Gary and what our plans are on moving little Gary with his lady friends over to the Plum Grove property. But that's going to require me to drive by and do a little bit of an inspection myself. I think that one of the worst things that I could do as a animal owner, and someone who loves Gary dearly, is put him into a bad situation. So even though right now it's not ideal, he's not really treated as an equal there in our bullpen. I'm there every day and I see what's going on, and I know he's fine. He's not like terrified. He's eating and he's drinking water and he's getting some shade and he's getting plenty of grass.
He had carrots today.
He ate carrots today, treats. So Gary's doing fine. But I do think that we want to make him at some point be the man of his own home. And we're going to do that. But I have to make sure the sanctuary property, the Plum Grove property, is safe first. When I say safe, I mean safe from Moses and any other things that might.
We need to do a fence check, just an all-around perimeter check of the pasture that he'll be in.
Yeah.
Paula says the Morrows fix fences today. So
well, the fencing that I saw was a bunch of people using a bunch of hay string to tie things together. Guys, that's not fencing. If you call that fencing, then that's old school redneck hillbilly fencing. That's not going to keep bulls apart. Okay.
There's so many fences there though. Like I could not tell where they were, and that could have been just for goats in a certain section. I'm not sure, but either way, Lester still has to go check the rest of that part of the property. That's not where they were. I know that for a fact because of the type of fencing. So it's important for us to make that check first.
Yep.
Can I just say,
please,
that I can't stop looking.
You do seem quite distracted tonight.
I cannot stop looking at it, and it does something very different to your eyes.
Well, my eyes are just tired, Jamie. I'm
exhausted.
exhausted.
I don't mean that. I mean, like,
if I close my eyes just for a second, I would fall sound asleep on this live right
now.
I would fall.
No, like when I look at, I know it doesn't look like it on the camera right now, but when I look at Lester, even yesterday, his eyes are like piercing blue with this color of hair, and it like freaks me out because I see it out of the corner of my eye,
Jamie,
and it's like there's a new man sitting next to me. it is so bizarre.
I know that there are couples that do like some kind of a dress up game they play, usually for like nighttime fun. And no, I'm not wearing my hair at night. If y'all think I crawl in the bed like this, no. Lester ain't climbing into bed like this. Okay.
But I also prefer it with
Now
the hat. I like it with the hat.
Now, don't think I wouldn't climb into bed. Lester's not climbing into bed wearing costumes, okay?
But your eyes are like neon blue with the hair, and it doesn't make any sense because it just doesn't make sense.
Jamie, you're embarrassing me.
I'm sorry. I'm embarrassing you?
Well, I just feel like, I don't know. I guess I'm complimented. Thank you. I just feel bad that I can't be so handsome the way I naturally
You
look.
are so handsome. It's weird for me like that. No, that's better. That's a million times better.
That's what you want right there. That's what you want. That's
I actually like this the best.
No, you don't.
I do.
Put my hair back.
Genuinely like.
Hey, I'll tell y'all. Can I tell my funny story about the black lady?
Oh my God, do it.
Can I?
Yes.
So I'll tell you a funny story. And I don't mean any disrespect by this. I don't think this is a disrespectful story, but it's a true story. And so if things are factual, you can't be upset if someone's telling you a factual story, even though people will try to find reason to be upset about anything. You're racist. Oh my God. No, what I was telling Jamie is one year I was teaching school, and there was a brand new teacher who came to our school. Man, she was a pretty woman. My God, she was a knockout. Y'all, come on now. Everyone knows you can identify a handsome man or a good-looking woman when they work next door to you. Everyone knows you've all had that colleague or that person down the hall or down the street or whatever. Fine. But there was this woman who came to my school, brand new teacher. I won't say her name in case anyone knows her or anyone's watching. But my God, she was gorgeous, y'all. She was a gorgeous, gorgeous lady. And she was much younger than I was. So I wasn't even that. My mind was not going there. My mind was not going there, y'all. But I recognized her as a beautiful lady. And one morning, it was before school started, before the kids had gotten there anyway, before the bell rang. And sometimes teachers would go around door to door asking could they borrow supplies? Can I use your set of scissors? Can I use your set of glue? Can I use your markers? Whatever you might need for the day. It was very commonplace for teachers to go by and borrow things from other teachers. So I had seen that she was there. She was right across the hall. So I walked over and I opened the door and walked right in. I didn't think that I had to wait. And so right when I walked in, there was this teacher at her desk, and she was as bald as I am. This beautiful, beautiful woman who still from here and around had the most beautiful face. My gosh, she was just angelic, but she was completely bald, like shaved bald. She was as bald as I am. She was mad at me for walking in there. Mr. Morrow, close the door. She went crazy on me. Went crazy on me. And I'm like, I don't know exactly what I said, but what I came to find out, because later, whenever I began to talk to other people about it, I'm like saying, hey, because, coaches, we were all coaches, and all the coaches talk about everything. I went to the coach's office. I said, hey, y'all never going to believe this. I walked in so-and-so's room this morning, and that woman is as bald as I am. And they're all like, yeah, we knew that. I'm like, how did you all know? Anyway, supposedly, I don't know much, because I'm not a really diversified cultural kind of person. And I wish I were more cultural and diversified. But I didn't know that a lot of women will shave their head and wear different hairstyles on a daily basis, just change your hair up the same way I put on my hairstyle this morning. Okay, well, 5 minutes ago, the same way I put this on for you all. So I'm guessing that some people, before they go to work, they just throw on whatever style they want for that day. And that's commonplace. I had no idea. I had no
There's
idea.
all kinds of things with that. So there's a disease called alopecia, which is hair loss, or some people choose to go that path and wear wigs. My best friend Penny loves wigs. Like, it is her thing to literally go on vacation and wear a wig and be something different.
My friend Dwayne Lacey, who's also a teacher, who's also bald and beautiful, if I can say so myself, Dwayne, is watching tonight. And he put smiley and laughy faces on that. Dwayne, fill me in. Help me out here, buddy. I could use your help. I'm looking for Dwayne Lacey comments, y'all. Any Dwayne Lacey comments about that scenario? Was I wrong for doing that, Dwayne? Should I have waited for a while? Is that commonplace? And then I have to ask one other question. And this is going to come out very, very wrong. And Dwayne, you know me. You know I love you. I love people. I love Jesus. Yeah.
Somebody says you look like Chip Gaines. I need to see a picture of Chip Gaines.
Well, hold on one second. Let's talk. I don't want to miss Dwayne. You can help me find Dwayne if Dwayne comments back. My question to Jamie, I says, Jamie, because I was telling her this story yesterday. I'd never told her the story until yesterday. And try to watch for Dwayne if he writes anything. I says, my only thing about that beautiful, beautiful woman, because I'm not making this up. She's gorgeous, y'all.
Yep, you should have waited. Agreed, Dwayne.
Dwayne.
A very Longhorn lustrous.
Okay, Dwayne, I'm going to ask you one more question. And I'm only asking Dwayne because I trust you and you know that my intentions are pure, even though things don't always come out right. At night, when this beautiful woman climbs in bed beside her, I'm sure a very handsome, equally handsome husband, does the hair stay on or does the hair come off? I'm just curious. I'm not judging. I could give a rat's less. I don't care. But I'm curious, Mr. Lacey. Dwayne, help me out here, sir. At night, would she leave her hair on?
Everyone else says it definitely comes off. Dwayne's just laughing hysterically.
Dwayne, Dwayne, how about some help here? Why are you just laughing at me? I'm really trying to figure some things out here, Dwayne. Okay, Dwayne, you're no help at all by laughing at me, sir. I love you anyway, Dwayne.
With you.
I still can't wait, Dwayne, until you and I can one day hook it up and hang out and share stories. Okay. We're both teachers and we have a lot of things to share.
I would bet this. I would bet that it is probably something like in the dating space that you may not remove, but as you get comfortable with someone, you might have to like.
Okay. So listen. So once again, I'm just curious, guys. I'm not a well-traveled individual. You may not realize that about me, but I'm very homey. Okay. Homey or homely? I am very small town. Okay. I have not had much exposure to many things in life. Okay. So I'm going to ask this question. When this beautiful lady goes to the beach or to the pool, can she get her hair wet? When this beautiful lady is in the mood with her man and he touches her on her hair, does she say, no, hands off, don't touch me there? I just don't know. My mind is so blown on things. I just don't know, y'all. I just don't know. I wish I knew.
The weird part is none of this conversation would have happened had Lester not stumbled across this fabulous $10 gem that is on his head.
This did cost me $10, and it's probably the best $10 I've ever spent. I actually made sure. It says, Jamie, hold on. What are we buying again? We only have $94. Put that up. You're not buying the quilt. No, we don't need the Viewmaster. No, we're not going to get the Atari 64. No, as long as we can get my wig.
You can't get a wig wet, somebody says.
So you cannot get a wig wet.
Unless it's glued on. So I had an uncle who had a permanent hairpiece.
Tape and glue. How come Dwayne stopped talking to me?
Dwayne is like pleading the fifth.
Dwayne, I told you, Dwayne.
Dwayne, maybe you want to wear the wig.
Huh?
Maybe Dwayne wants to wear the wig.
Dwayne, I'll be more than happy to share it
I'm
with
sure that
you. Dwayne, you and I can.
Dwayne probably cannot wait to wear the wig. Somebody says, what does Fire Chief Chris say? You know what's funny?
Look who's back. She's like, I still feel good. In case you're wondering, I still feel fine, everybody. I'm good. Don't worry about me.
Dwayne says, I have been commenting. So when all of this went down and we're sitting at dinner and I posted the picture of Lester, someone snapshotted a very close up of him in return. And Lester goes, send that to Fire Chief Chris and ask him what he thinks of me.
2 people. We sent it to 2 people, and neither one of them noticed a darn thing.
That's the truth.
Fire Chief Chris was one of them.
And Uncle Dan was the other.
And my brother, Uncle Dan.
Neither one of them noticed a thing.
They didn't notice a darn thing.
Such men.
And I'm like this. I'm like, and neither one of them noticed anything.
Lester was really let down. He was like,
I kind of wanted their support. I wanted them to say, man, you actually look really good like that, Lester. Or, hey, I don't know what you got going, but I like it. And I can dig that. But,
would you consider doing a permanent hairpiece?
Okay.
Like my uncle?
No.
I'm being serious.
So
now.
hairpiece, no, but let's not forget. Now, I don't know if it's still on the table or not, but how many months back was that? I was offered
it was around Christmas.
A promo. What do they call those? Not a promo. They offered me a sponsorship to get hair plugs. And you all said, don't do it. You all told me not to do it. So I didn't. I got an e-trike instead. That was long story, an e-trike. But anyway, I did not get the hair plugs sponsorship because you all said not to do it. But now that I'm seeing this wig that I found at the resale shop for $10, now I'm having to kind of re-guess everything. And then one of the commenters said, Lester, ghosts and spirits can get into anything. What if you put that on and you become somebody you're not? And so I'm thinking, ooh,
you're becoming an old lady?
Who could I become? Who might I become, Jamie? Someone that I'm not. I don't know.
Whoever it is, I hope they love cleaning and yard work and
and longhorns.
Yes. Yes. I genuinely hope that they love some of the things that you don't.
So if y'all notice any bizarre behaviors from me and I'm wearing this hairpiece, just know that it's probably not me. You
could be a pea pat.
Y'all, oh no, y'all might have to give me an intervention. Y'all just do an intervention where a bunch of people grab me and yank off my hairpiece. I'm like, no. I'm like all twisted.
Suddenly, this
my
year's Halloween stuff is
I'm vomiting everywhere. I'm climbing across the roof. That would be so funny. Like an intervention. I become like the exorcist with my hairpiece. Too bad it's not Halloween, man.
I was just thinking, I just said, I'm like, well, this is Halloween craze.
Up the wall sideways.
You can bet that Lester will be going back to the his and her mercantile.
Little Gary Part
to look for any other, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on a minute, y'all.
It's pea pat. That is the weirdest look ever. It doesn't even look like you. It doesn't even look like you.
But really, who wore this before me? Who wore this? Y'all ever wonder about that? Here we were talking about all this history that we saw from the resale shop. Who wore this? Ebenezer? You think Ebenezer wore this back in 1867?
Maybe it said Elwood.
It did not say Elwood. Wouldn't that have been scary though?
I'm a little serious right now.
A little old lady. I don't think this is little old lady hair.
I think it's definitely lady hair. It's a pixie cut.
What style is this from? What era is this from?
Give it to me.
Oh, no. You want my wig?
Give it to me.
Hold on. Before I take it off, I'm going to have to fight you. You ain't getting my wig. No.
Give me that wig.
Seriously, though. What era are you going to say it's from? Like, what era?
This is how I know that it's a woman's wig, okay? First of all, Fashion Club design.
Don't say the date because I want people to guess.
The wig company. Oh, it's average for the record.
Average size?
Yeah, barely there. This is the first time I'm doing this. I don't know genuinely what I will
Everyone's
look
saying from the 60s. It's certainly from the 60s.
That's how I know that it's women's hair.
You look great like that.
I don't look great
I think you look wonderful like that. Hey, let's go to the bed.
Ew, no. This is a woman's wig. Sorry, y'all, but
you're liking it. We're going to share the wig.
We're not sharing the wig.
We're going to start sharing my wig.
We're not sharing the wig.
Thank you. It's all mine and only mine, Jamie. Sheath, don't you dare ever.
I felt like one of the Golden Girls.
Okay, there. What's wrong? What's wrong?
You and your crazy laugh. You just went from like a hysterical Lester laugh to all of a sudden like, ha ha ha, and you became Pea Pat.
Okay, that's scary. That's real scary. Lord, Jamie. I'm embarrassed
Blanche.
now.
That's exactly what I felt like was Blanche.
Okay, we're back to normal now. Everything's back to normal. Okay, guys, listen. At this point, it's the time of the live where we're going to start answering some questions. We're so blessed to have you guys hanging out with us tonight. We're so darn blessed to have you all. Thank y'all for putting up with our antics and all our riffraff and our nonsensical stuff. You want to hear a funny story? Whenever Arm's family, Daniel and his family came to visit us, this has been 2 years ago. And
it's been 2 years. I miss them.
It was 2 years ago that Daniel and his family came all the way from Oklahoma to visit us here at the sanctuary. And we just bought this property, maybe longer than 2 years ago then. But the thing is, when I took Daniel over to visit my dad had no idea I was going to show up with a visitor. And Dad's on the porch and he goes, "Hey!" And he was so excited to see Daniel. And I'm like, "You know him?" He goes, "Yeah, I watch his videos." And I'm like, "You don't even watch my videos." He goes, "Yeah, because you guys are too silly. I don't like all that silly stuff." Those are the exact words out of my dad's mouth. He doesn't watch my videos because we're too silly. He gets tired of all the silly stuff. But he watches Daniel Arms because he's serious about farming, ranching. Thank y'all for putting up with my silliness and our goofiness, because that's who we are. We have fun, y'all. We have fun. I hope that you enjoy yourselves as well. I hope you can laugh along with us, or roll your eyes. You can do that too. If you've learned from the best, you can roll your eyes at those appropriate moments, and you put up with us, and we appreciate that. Dwayne, if you're still here, I don't blame you if you're gone, but if you're still here, thank you for putting up with me as a friend. And as a former a colleague, a former school teacher. Dwayne, I'm going to retire officially next year. I'm officially going to be able to retire next year, Dwayne. Can you believe it? I'm finally old enough to retire next year. So getting close. All right, it's time to answer some questions. Friends, if you have any questions that we've not addressed, we have tried really, really hard to talk about all of the key points, things that are going on around the farm, around the other property, the ranch property. But if there's anything else that you need to know or want to know, did I go to the sanctuary this weekend? To this weekend, I did not. Don't forget that Jamie and I took care of the sanctuary, or we helped out a lot during the week that Ellie and Megan were gone. So we took this weekend off. We did our own thing.
Hold on.
Not off.
Hold on.
Go ahead, help me.
We did not take this weekend off. We chose to allow Ellie and Megan to do the sanctuary holistically this weekend, and we took care of the other two properties.
Yeah, if I said we took the weekend off, that's not what I meant. We stayed plenty busy, but our day did not consist of going to the sanctuary. If you're wondering about Lex, and that's why you say that, Lex doesn't come until Tuesday. Lex is in a summer camp right now for school, and tomorrow is his last day of school camp. It's a math camp for some reason. And so we'll be getting him on Tuesday. And at that point, we'll be sharing time between my mom and dad and then us over here. And he'll spend a lot of time with Ellie during their own little football camp that we're going to do for him. So that answers one question. Your turn. Pond update.
Pond update is a pond in progress. It's way worse than we expected. Is that fair?
It's a lot worse than we expected. Absolutely.
Like
Yes, it's real bad. It's real bad.
we're gonna give it a week with our best efforts, and I've already started to look at professional help because it's real bad.
I don't think we need to go there. My biggest concern with the pond is I don't want to put so many chemicals that we end up messing up the natural ecosystem that exists there. But I also know that the pond is guys, I had a 6-foot paddle that I went down and put it into the water. And then my hand went down all the way. I extended my full arm, and that paddle never touched the bottom. That means it's at least 8 foot deep in the center. But there's so much green stuff growing from the bottom all the way to the top. That means there's 8 foot of green stuff growing up. And that's scary. So what we did do yesterday was put the coloring to the pond. The coloring will block the sun, make it a real pretty blue color. And the blocking of that sun will help a whole lot of that stuff that's growing from the bottom not get the sun that it needs to grow. And so we're going to attack it systematically, but we don't want to mess up the ecosystem. There are tons of fish, from the small fish to larger fish, and we just don't want to mess with the ecosystem.
So we have another 2 or 3 things to do to it, and it does involve some pond raking. And I'll be real with you, the heat index was 108 yesterday and today, and we just didn't get to it. We didn't get to it.
That is the JL pond, Jamie. People are saying, which pond? That's the JL pond.
So we have much more to do around it, but and then we will have the one in the back to do as well. So we're taking our first adventure. This year is very different year for Texas with all of the rain that we had.
I'm afraid it's the new norm, man. I'm so afraid that it's the new norm.
But what it's made is like things that are like, there's different life coming out of things. There's different bugs. There's different algae. There's just different weeds. Like, it is very dynamically different because it came after a 2-year drought. So what has survived the drought and has come back with all this, like the water that's come this year is like with a vengeance, like super hard. So I have called the ag extension more times this year than ever in my life, asking like, what are people doing? How do you do this? How do you do that? And they're giving us great advice, but they're also telling us that everyone's dealing with it.
Yvette, your question about the horses, they're not gone just because of the pond. They're gone because there's no grass here. There's not a sustainable source of nutrition here at the Longhorn Lester property. Our pastures are not putting out the right kind of grass and not enough of it yet. So the horses taking the summer trip over to the JL is, number one, because they need the nutrition. We didn't take them there because of the pond. We also had some concerns with the spillway and our pond over here and some of the dangers. And even though that's all been addressed and fixed, I'm still afraid that we don't have enough grass here. And every single day we're watching and our grass is starting to die off fast. So we have a whole lot of needs as far as what to do with our soil and our grass. We're doing everything that we've been advised to do from that ag extension.
It just takes time.
Well, he told us last year it was going to be this time next year before we get a good sustainable grass. But we looked into sod, and that's a possibility. There are so many things, y'all, so many things.
But it's going to take a lot to repair it. And if you do it right, it'll last. If you don't take the time to do it, it's a never ending money suck and work battle. So we're trying really hard to do it right. And the horses being at JNL is tough. It's tough on me. It's not tough on them. I want them to have a pond because they love to swim in it, but there's a lot of horses in this world that don't have a pond. So it's not the end of the world, but we're doing our best to be able to bring both of those to, well, I say to life, but really to clear them of what's growing in them.
All of our donkeys are male donkeys. We only have one donkey, Dan, and he's been fixed.
Yeah.
The miniature donkeys, we are still looking for a home. I was contacted by 2 individuals yesterday that I had to say thank you, but no thank you, because they were too far away, several hours away. And I says, listen, with all due respect, I don't think that it's safe to be transporting animals in this heat in the back of a metal steel trailer. Guys, I wish it were the fall or the winter or even early spring when it wasn't so hot. But the two folks who've contacted me were from other state or from 4 hours away in this state. And I just don't think that's safe. And so I felt better saying, I'm so sorry. I just don't think that's going to work out.
Yeah.
The same thing for anyone who's trying to offer us animals right now. We've been emailed and asked to take on other animals and stuff. And local animals is one thing we would always consider, but there's no way Jamie and I would ever consider hauling an animal in a trailer that far. It
would have to be dark.
It has to be nighttime.
And they would have, I don't think that I would be more than comfortable than with anything outside of an hour. And even that right now is like very stressful for an animal to switch places and to have to go through the stress of trailering an animal is like, even a horse that trailers every weekend is still very stressful for it. It upsets their stomach. And then they're changing pastures to eat from and nutrition and everything else. And this time of year is really, really, really hard. So an animal would have to be in a horrific situation for me to feel like that was the better option for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. But see, I'm also I go a different direction. I sometimes think that people might be confused a little bit of what they're actually going to be getting. These are not sweet, gentle, lovable donkeys. These donkeys are as wild as any wild animal you've ever come across.
They're mean.
They're mean, but they're also males, and they have never been fixed. They've never been handled. They're not gentle. They will not come within 20 foot of you without running. So they're not going to be a kind of a pet. If you think about mini and how cute mini donkeys or mini horses or mini anything, mini, M-I-N-I, if that's the idea that you have, then this is not that kind of an animal.
So like people see Jake's Glenwood, right? Glenn is not very touchable. Glenn is not very gentle. These are 10 times worse than Glenn. Glenn at least is socialized and is decent with other animals, comes to feed, all of those things. These donkeys probably haven't had owners in years and haven't interacted with humans in years. So
Chrissy,
they will charge you. They will blow out at you. They're dynamically different. So it's going to take some time.
So the donkeys actually belong to the property. They've been there for years, and the person who we bought the property from said the donkeys were there when he had the property, and they've just kind of always gone wherever they wanted to go. They go back and forth from different pastures, from different neighbors. They don't belong to anybody. We've expressed our concerns to the county when Jamie called the animal control, and she explained it to them that there's no owner for the donkeys. And so then they said, then do whatever you want to do. You can take them to the auction. You can put them on marketplace. Jamie and I are not auction type people. We're not marketplace type people. And so we're not going to do that. We're not looking for any money for the donkeys. I just would like someone that would like to offer them a home to come get them. And I put that out there already, saying if anybody really does want them, then come get them. But even at that, a guy yesterday was saying, "Can I put them in a crate?" And I'm like
in the inside of an SUV, like
a Suburban. And I'm like, "Sir, they're wild. You're not gonna catch them, put a halter on them, and put them in a crate. They're gonna eat you up. They're gonna kick you. They're gonna bite you. I don't even know how you're gonna catch them."
Yeah.
So
mini donkeys are still like 250 pounds.
Oh, I bet you they're heavy.
I mean, and not to mention they're fast and they're wild, and yeah, it would be crazy. A lot of people are asking if Twisted Critters like Courtney and Ashley could help. No. I jokingly asked Courtney, like, "Hey, you have an appetite to help 3 donkeys?"
Courtney doesn't do mini anything. Courtney was the one that told us, avoid mini at all cost. Anything mini, no matter how cute, no matter how
I
lovable.
have something. She does have mini horses now, though.
Avoid them.
But we talk about it all the time about how she did. She told Lester and I, do not get anything mini because it's crazy, it's wild. And then lo and behold, she has two mini horses that have stumbled upon her.
So.
However, they do not have the room or the facilities, the fences to accommodate because they're minis. They're very different, so they can go in between, and they're intact. And she has female horses as well.
So I am entertaining emails and messages on WhatsApp and people who have been reaching out. I'm just trying to still do my due diligence because they're still animals, and that's what, God has entrusted us to help animals find their way. If it can't be with us, then with somebody else, but we still want to find them a decent home. And my problem right now is seeing them transported 4, 5, 6 hours in this Texas heat, and that's not safe. Like Jamie said, the stress of being trailered on top of going to a new place is a lot. And so they're not ours, but we still care about them as animals. So we're just trying to make sure we find the right fit. I hope that at some point someone will come along and say, hey, listen, I live over here. I have pasture that needs to be grazed. I have coyotes that run across my pastures after my goats. I love to have the donkeys for protection. That would be ideal. Now, I don't know, but most people who would talk about minis, they want something they can love on and put their kids on their back and walk them around like a petting zoo. And these donkeys are not those kind of donkeys. You guys have seen them. They're not those kind of donkeys.
Yeah. People keep asking about Uranus, like blowing up about Uranus is here. Uranus, I was just looking to see if he's like Uranus goes in and out more than Mabel does. Mabel is the cat who goes in and out with the dogs. Uranus is like the cat that will come in and sleep during the day when it's hot and go out on the prowl at night.
Say it the way it is. Uranus has chosen the outdoors. Uranus prefers to be outdoors more than indoors. Here's my funny question, though, and I said this last time on my other video when people begin to scream about Uranus. I don't know if it's funny to people to say the name or what, but I'm like, no one ever asked about White Kitty.
I was just going to say the exact same thing. I'm like, how come nobody asked about?
No one asked about Stranger. No one asked about, and you can go by a name. 10 of our barn kitties.
I was like, nobody asked about Patch Adams, nothing.
No one gives a darn.
Frank, and it's like, where's Uranus? So it must be funny. You must be right.
I think because of his name being Uranus, people love to ask, where's Uranus? Well, you ask and you shall receive. No, I'm kidding. But no, Uranus.
I'll capture a video of him next time he comes in so that everybody can just take a relax and stop screaming about it because.
Well, anyone screaming at me about an animal we've already talked about 100 times that's just annoying. Yeah, that's that troll word they talk about. Troll. Stop. Leave it alone, y'all. Leave it alone.
I hate to end this live, but I have to pee.
Okay. Well, we're way past our time. We want to thank y'all for watching. We love you so very much. We're blessed to have you. We're exhausted. Jamie has to go pee and I'm tired. I'm so tired. I also
want to bathe. I'm really sweaty.
I at least did have a shower before I jumped on here. I shaved too. So I'm going to go lay on that couch over there, probably put on me a Netflix or a Hulu or something.
Are you going to leave the wig on?
I will probably take the wig off if that's not going to bother you too much.
No, I would love for you.
But when I wake up tomorrow,
take that wig off
right back on.
Y'all, thanks so much for joining us on Sunday evening.
When is your wig video going to come out? Of me getting the wig?
It came out today.
Well, y'all, please go watch that video. If you've not already seen it, we went to the restaurant and I wore my wig. I wore my wig to the restaurant. And before we went inside, I saw one of the guys coming on to his shift. It was some kid. He's probably 16, 17, 18. Go ahead, babe. 18 years old. And he's about to clock in. I'm like, hey, bud, come over here. He goes, yes, sir. I'm like, I want to ask you a quick question. I says, look me over up and down. No homo, guys. Nothing weird about this. Nothing weird. Just look me over up and down. And do you see anything strange about my appearance? And that kid looked at me and he goes, no, sir. You look normal to me. I'm like, you see nothing weird about me. Nothing seems off about me. And once again, he looked me up and down. He goes, no, sir. You look normal to me. Just a normal guy to me. I'm like, I'm going to show you something. And I took off my hat. I'm like, you ready for this? And he goes, yes, sir. And I did this already. I took off my wig and I told the kid that I just bought me a wig down the road at the resale shop. And I says, kid, I says, I'm going to ask you a question now. I said, I want you to be honest. I says, does that change anything? And he goes, well, he goes, you went from a he goes, you went from a 5 with the being bald to an 8 with the wig on. So from a 5 to an 8, I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. So with this wig, I must be an 8. So how can I take it off now, y'all? How can I? Do I want to be a 5? Does Lester want to just live the rest of my life as a 5? Do I want to be a 5 when I can be an 8? That's all I'm saying, y'all. Anywho, now my hat's too loose. Thank y'all for watching. We love you so very much. And we will absolutely catch you guys on the next video. Good night, friends.